Wings Mobile Detailing Podcast here, and today, if you're an auto detailer, stay tuned. If you do shampoo the seats, the floor of your client's car, or you're curious just to learn the difference between the tools that you can use for shampooing seats, leather, or carpeting using a water extractor, the hot water extractor, or a steamer, or none of them, or both. And we're going to cover the convenience of using them and not using them, and the difference of results that you might expect, prices, and everything. Stay with the introduction here. We're going to get started.
Welcome to the Wings Mobile Detailing Business and Automotive Podcast, the only podcast that will guide you on how to start and grow six-figure companies. As our team expand from one business location to worldwide domination, you will get step-by-step insights from a millennial franchisor and franchise owner with your host, Andre Mezzalera.
So currently I used one specific method to shampoo cars for clients, unless, it varies by cases. If the car's flooded, definitely I'm going to use an extractor. But right now, mainly I use steam cleaning when we shampoo cloth, seats, or carpeting. And, there are different ways to do when it comes to shampooing. Obviously, you're going to have to use a shampoo, an actual product to spray, and they sell many different products of those for shampoo. We scrub it, and some people go in the extraction, go straight to the hot water extraction after they are scrubbing it. Some people just go with the steaming, or some people just dry it, pretty much dry. Or there's the vacuum cleaning option, the wet vacuum option, which I love because the suction of that, you can get an amazing suction and still get all the water out, and still, with the shampoo, clean it really well. So I'm going to tell a story. So before I used to use a hot water extraction. It's from Mytee. The company's Mytee. I think that's the brand as well. If you guys search it on Amazon, it's called Mytee Light Carpet Extractor Machine. Back then, I believe I've paid around $600, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, I'm seeing on Amazon it's much more expensive than what it was before. But I remember having that machine, and I used it for a few weeks. Didn't have much luck with that, but obviously I'm not going to use my bad experience that I have with my opinion towards this podcast. But I am going to share my opinion, and as well as the pros and cons of having a steaming and a hot water extractor, or using both, best case scenario. But is it really convenient? Is it really necessary to use both, depending on your situation? If you own a business and you're doing for clients, sometimes it might not even need to use both. But let's go with the hot water extractor, for example. That's how I shampoo. Spray shampoo, scrub the seats, or when it comes to floor. The leather is different, obviously. We are not going to use much of that on leather. Definitely not a water extractor on a leather seat, because the water extractor made to extract the water, and the leather seat doesn't. Or we can. I guess we can. I mean, I never used it. I used a dry cleaning towel. But before, I bought this Mytee Light Carpet Extractor, and I paid much less than what it costs now. And that thing, I started to have problems, the cleaning of it. So the result comes out nice when the machine, I'm saying this when the machine was new, because a few weeks in, it was spitting back water as opposed to vacuuming the water off the seat. The machine was making it spit it back. All the dirt water that just sucked in the machine, it would spit it right back. It was a nightmare, but I'm assuming maybe I have done something wrong to not take care of the machine well, so it might have caused it to break, because I did use soap on that. So I'm gonna take that as my fault of breaking it. It's not supposed to be like that. But when it was new, based on this Mytee machine, where it costed around $600, the suction wasn't that good. It did spit hot water, and I had to refill the water tank really regularly. So I was going to shampoo it, turn the vacuum on, which is the water extractor on, turn the water extractor on, heated the water, had to wait for about a few minutes, obviously, for the water to be super warm and hot, and then I can spray. So normally how you use it, if you guys have seen it, it's a big vacuum tool. The tip of it is big, and you scrub with the shampoo, with the foam balance shampoo. I think it's a shampoo that doesn't create foam, so that you can extract, and so won't break the machine like I did. And you extract that water and suck it all out, and it's gonna make the little nice mark, which is nice about the machine, and get the dirt out. As opposed to when you're using the hot water extractor, which I also sometimes break my water extractors because we do use regular water as opposed to ionized water. We stopped doing that, but when we used to use regular tap water, the machine wouldn't last long, and in the cold it would freeze and it would break. But so there are pros and cons, but using the right way, these machines, I was having the problem with the suction from the hot water extractor. Sure, it would suck the water out, and I normally, when I shampoo using the hot water extractor, I would actually spray more soap, more water, because I had to rinse it afterwards. So normally I would have to spray the soap and water on the fabric, on the carpet, get it more moisture, more water in there compared to if I'm just going to use the steaming. The hot water extractor, I have to put more water so that I can agitate and then suck it all out afterwards. And I'm not a big fan of when I'm shampooing carpeting from cars or seats to put too much water in there, because it creates moisture. If you don't remove it completely out, the water can go under the carpeting or inside the foam of the seat if you don't suck it in time or suck it everything, and it's gonna be wet. I'm not a big fan of that, but if the water extractor sucks the water out of there, that's good. But that particular machine where I paid $600 wouldn't suck it well at all. Like, I did not have much luck with that, sucking the water. The suction power was really weak. It was weak. And then after I shampooed the carpeting, the result that I would get from the carpet itself. So normally if the client requested us to shampoo their carpeting, the carpet is going to be older. It's not going to be a new car. The carpet is going to be older. It's going to be wear and tear. And when it dries, when you're sucking the water out and the carpeting dry, the fibers of the carpets, it gets a little bit hard, and sometimes it gets soft, but when it's newer carpet, but if you're shampooing on older cars anyway, so it normally gets a little bit hard and uneven. That's the word. It gets a little bit uneven because it was wet before, and you suck the water out, just like when you put water in your hair. It's not fluffy. It's uneven. It's you get the analogy here, and it's because I had to use more water and get it wet. And that's the reason I didn't like it much. And the results, and I didn't get much of a nice result. Would it get the stain out more than if I was what gets the stain out of the carpet is actually the shampoo, so it's the first step. Maybe it worked on getting more of the stain out because of the fact that I used more water, so I was able to agitate the shampoo more. Maybe. But I found out to see, because we did multiple cars, and that was certain cases, so that was really not the case. I didn't really get a better result using the hot water extractor compared to the steamer. And then the cleaning time, when I was to clean the hot water extractor, I had to dump all the dirty water out, which is nice because you have a feeling that everything is sanitized. You see all the dirty water coming out from the bucket. It's like, okay, I actually cleaned my seat really well. And the carpeting, and it can be true, it can clean better, sanitize better, you're using hot water and you suck all the water out along. But again, you're leaving your carpet a little bit wet, the chances of creating mold, it is higher than if you were not to get the carpet. Mold is created from, so you have those little, it can happen, it can never happen. It happened to me before, but it's a personal experience. So those are the kind of cons that I had with hot water extractor. But the pros is that I felt it was more clean. Did it remove stain better? No, because that's the shampoo part. Was the results better? I compared to a lot of cars, and the answer is also no. It's not worse or better. To me, it was about the same. Some cars would come out better, other cars would come out worse with the water extractor, just like with the steamer. Some cars would come out better, others would come out worse. The cleaning part, then I have to dump all the water out, clean the little container of water, clean water, and then wait for it to warm up wrap around all the cable and then put it back wherever you're using it from. If you're in a shop, I think that's ideal. But that's the thing. If you're in a mobile business, that's not very convenient. We're a mobile business and a shop as well. We have both, but it's not very convenient if you're mobile, because you have to all cleaning the client's driveway sometimes wherever you are, dumping their water, cleaning that little container. If it's cold, it's annoying. If it's still hot, you're making the mess. Compared to steaming, comparing to shampooing a car with steam and shampoo. Now, if you're in a shop, that can be better. You're paying $600 for a water extractor. Now it's around $1,000. I see the Mytee Light there, the Mytee Light. As you guys can see, if you type water extractor on Amazon, it's a blue one and black. It's around $1,200, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300. They have one over $1,500. The ones that's around $300, this just doesn't work at all. But let's compare with the one I bought, the $600, which is the one available on Amazon today. And I was like, okay, that doesn't, and it broke. So the water suction, the water extractor, what it does, it throws hot water and it sucks with the vacuum. The suction power was really weak. It was weak. And I was like, why would I spend this much money on pretty much a vacuum that throws hot water? If for me to use the water extraction, I had to have water on the carpet before, like cold water, whatever, for me to shampoo it. So and the carpet wouldn't be warm. It was a mess. It created a mess, and then the machine broke, but it could be my fault. What I started to use then was the wet vacuum. I thought it was, if you're going to use a water extractor, just get a wet vacuum. That was so much better for me personally, and I'm sure you're gonna find it out. If you're in a shop, for example, and you're using it, if you get a vacuum from Home Depot, a regular vacuum, a wet vacuum, obviously, you just change the filter and you make a wet vacuum. The suction power is going to be 10 times better, and that vacuum costs $80. I go to Home Depot right here, it's $80, or go to Amazon, buy a wet vacuum. It's 10 times more powerful than the same $1,000 Mytee extractor machine that you're going to buy. And it's 10 times more powerful than that. Where the vacuum cleaner is $80. And that would be the best way. If you're actually going to use the water extractor, you put a lot of shampoo. You can put a lot of water to agitate with the shampoos, because it feels like the more water you put, the more not necessarily suds you make, but the more wet you make in the carpet, it seems like it cleans better. And then you come back with the vacuum cleaner, the wet vacuum, and you suck everything out, completely out. But the vacuum cleaner doesn't throw the hot water. That I did not personally see much of a difference as far as stain removal from using the hot water. I did not, compared to using an actual really, really good stain remover and scrubbing it. It's gonna get the stain out. And you just suck it out with the water and vacuum, and it's gonna suck it out. The result, it's still going to be, the fabric fibers are still going to be a little bit like your hair when it gets wet afterwards, even if it's dry. But it's gonna be drier if you use if you use the vacuum, the wet vacuum. It's gonna be more dry than the water extractor, because the suction power is gonna get all the water out of there. Unless you have a flood problem and the water is just underneath the carpet completely, then you have to remove the carpets, but that's a different case. And so yeah, compared to the result, still vacuum cleaner, you also have to clean at the end, have to dump the water, open it up, dump the water out, clean inside. And you're carrying more things. You're carrying either the vacuum cleaner or the hot water extractor. And when you're cleaning on the mobile, you have to use a shampoo before you extract the water. You have to use a shampoo bottle, put shampoo in there, and a pressure washer or a water hose to throw more water into the carpet to moisturize it more, because you're going to have to use much more shampoo to have more. So you're going to have to put more water there. Now, what I use, and I had better luck with the vacuum, but now what I use is actually the steaming. The steaming is literally put the rag on the tip of it. Oh, another thing that I dislike about the hot water extractor compared to the vacuum is the hot water extraction tool if you see on Amazon, they're all huge. They're big. They're big tools that sucks in. So you can get to the crevices and get the water out, and you're gonna leave water on those crevices. It's just annoying. But if you use a wet vacuum, have the small tools with the wet vacuum, and have all the tools. It's a regular vacuum, and you can get all the corners. So that's amazing. You can suck the water from every little corner and crease. So and if you use the hot water extractor, you're also leaving moisture in the car. Not only does it not suck well, it sucks, but doesn't suck well. If you know what I mean. It's gonna leave water there. The steaming, and get on the price point. Compare the price. I paid $600 for that. The $600 machine, I think it can compare to. It's not an industrial level. It might be compared to steaming that I use. It's from McGulloch steamer. You can also find it on Amazon. It's about $180, $200. And that steaming, you put the rag. I buy a little socket that I put on the triangle head of the steaming to use that, so that all the steaming water is not going directly to the fabric, and it's you're scrubbing the steaming and the hot steam that's going on the fabric. You're scrubbing it with a towel rag wrapped around the head, the triangle tool head, and the dirt is going all in the microfiber rag, in the microfiber socks that you wrapped around. So the dirt is all getting stick to it. So the steaming, I had better luck with that, as it's simple. I don't have to clean a container. Just put water in the steaming, ionized water, so you don't break the steamer. Don't let it freeze, because then it's gonna break. But you put ionized water. You can buy it cheap. I used to put regular water, but I just have to keep buying new steamers like every year. It's up to you. I don't know. It's up to you. What do you want to do? But you put water inside, and I start off. Let's compare. I start off with putting shampoo, special shampoo on the carpet. Not too much shampoo, just very concentrate, just to get the shampoo there and moisturize a little bit. And then I scrub it. I'm scrubbing this, if it's cloth seats or floor, with a light brush. Scrub it really well, get the stains out, and then meanwhile the steamer has been on to warm it up, and then I use the steaming on it with the triangle head, and that works. And normally the results that I get with the steaming, the fabric is more soft, because I didn't soak the carpet with water. I just pretty much use as much shampoo as I could to get it off, a little bit moisturized to be able to massage it with a brush. But it was a soft result, and then I follow up with a dry microfiber rag, and I just blot it dry a lot. And when the client gets inside their car, it's not wet, as it would be if I was to use a hot water extractor. And it's more soft. The fabric's more soft. And again, the result. Sometimes the water extraction brings a better result, but sometimes the steaming will do. So the result is about, on average, it's the same. The stains will come out if it's a good stain remover shampoo. And the fabric's soft. And then to clean it up, just turn off the steamer and bam, good to go. Everything's clean, not much mess, and then have to dump the water out. The sting's great because it's hot, and the vapor sanitizes it, kills any bacteria. It's a really hot steam is hot, and it kills any bacteria on the fabric as you're using it. So as opposed to you sucking the water out, you do with the shampoo, steaming it and killing the bacteria. So it's just about it cleans it. Not only it cleans it really well, but it also remove the stain. So it's a dry method, and you're not gonna leave the car all wet, the carpeting of the car all wet. You're not gonna have problem with the car having moisture inside the car, and that is a huge problem, because if you leave moisture inside your car in the winter, especially, or summer, it's gonna evaporate and go in the windshield, and then the car is just gonna be humid, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna smell. It's just a nightmare. Now, if the car is really dirty, that's when I say, okay, maybe the extraction is better, but the extraction method using the wet vacuum cleaner, I just comparing to the extractor, you're gonna see the price difference as well. But the price between the wet vacuum and a hot water extractor. But I'll tell you, it does look nice. You see a lot of videos on YouTube that they are using hot water extractor, and it's seeing the difference of the carpeting coming out with those stripes and looking all nice and beautiful. That happened but in the real world, I when I did like 50 car, I'll detail a lot of cars with the water extractor. Most of the times, the clients who requested shampoo would be older carpets. They would have older carpets, obviously, if they request a shampoo. And it doesn't come out nice like that when the carpet's a little bit torn apart or a little bit of wear. It's not completely torn, but a little bit wear and tear on it. It's not going to come out soft and smooth like it shows in the videos. It will at times, but in the majority of cases, the majority of time, I get better results just with the steaming, more soft fabric and clean. So, and obviously a good steaming, I paid $180 for mine, but the good steaming, you're looking at to pay at around $800, an industrial steamer. But mine is pretty good. It's $200 steamer, and it works pretty well. It's powerful. It lasts if I don't let it freeze, and if I don't use regular tap water, then it lasts longer. So those are the difference, guys, and you can tell the difference on that. If the carpet again is really, 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 really dirty and soil and stains, to the point where it'd be like, okay, it would be better to throw a lot of shampoo and just extract. It might be the case, but again, if the carpet is that bad, then normally the shampoo wouldn't make much of a difference anyways. It's not going to be worth for the client to pay a high amount of money, if the client's completely bad and torn apart, because it might not even make a difference after all. So that's the case. I would recommend, I do have in my shop, for example, a wet vacuum to extract the water, and the steamer there as well. So if you really want that steam, and then the vacuum, for clients who has their car flooded like with like oils, whatever, not oil, like whatever type of spills that they have, and the car has been flooded and they want to remove the water, then the vacuum that's in the shop, it'll serve a better purpose, as opposed to just using for regular shampooing. Then that would be better case to have that. But again, if the car is completely flooded, then not even the wet vacuum, it will get the water out, but underneath the foam of the seats, are not gonna be able to get the water out from there. And if the car is being flooded, meaning rained inside, even underneath the carpeting, we have those little grooves, the little gaps inside, and the water is still gonna stay there. It's gonna seem dry from the first surface. It's gonna seem dry from the surface at the beginning when you extract the water from a car that has been flooded, but you're not gonna be able to get the water from the gap underneath, and it's gonna come right up. It's gonna moisturize. Might create mold. That happen a lot, and mold is created when the car is wet inside and it's parked in the shade. Just to be aware of that as well. So there you go, guys. And if you have any questions about steaming, the type of shampoo that I use, I have some, you can send me a message on Instagram. I get some people actually messaging me, detailers on Instagram. It's at Wings Mobile Detailing. Like, it's not chicken wings. We don't sell chicken. It's Wings Mobile Detailing on Instagram. We're there, or Facebook, or simply call us. And I'm happy to answer, talk to you on the phone, or whatever you guys found, good about this podcast, or whatever new podcast that you want me to talk about in auto detailing or business. Continue to listen, subscribe to us, and we bring some guests here on the show as well. And you guys are going to enjoy in the business of auto detailing franchise, or just simply maintaining your car clean. Thank you so much.